Brown Advisory Novices Chase, the staying Novice Championship. Here's Ian Bartlett.
Coming up towards the tape, they start next to the second last fence. So on this first circuit, they'll jump one in the straight. They're off. Race away for the Brown Advisory Novices Chase and make their way to number 1 of 19 with the yellow sleeves of Dancing City. Going to be the very narrow leader. Better Days Ahead running in second place here. Then is fence number 1. A red jacket, red and white of Lecky Watson, nearest to us in the stands, was over it just about in third place. Then the best turned out winner, Gorgeous Tom, green and yellow colours, runs in fourth place. Favourite Ballyburn is the far side of him, the red cap, white sleeves, in fifth place at the moment as they race on to fence number 2. Another plain one at it now, and they clear it with the white cap of Stellar Story, just ahead of the first colours of Cater Bourbon, and they are in 6th and 7th places. So off they go to the far side of the course. Not a particularly strong gallop in the early part of the race. Another plain fence number 3 coming up before the water, and it is Dancing City with a very narrow lead. It'll be about a half length ahead over Better Days Ahead, white and green jacket, a red cap in second place. The water jump coming up now. This circuit's 4, it'll be 13 the next time round. Lecky Watson, red and white colours, will be about 3 parts of a length behind the leaders. Gorgeous Tom was a little bit awkward at that in the green and yellow, and Cater Bourbon has moved up places to go into fourth as they come to the first of 4 open ditches they'll take on the way round. And Cater Bourbon, an error there. Started over it and dropped a place. Gorgeous Tom went ahead of him again. Ballyburn has the white sleeves, heads almost on the ground. He travels so strongly in the early part of the race as they jump another plain one heading up towards the top of the hill. The nose-banded Stellar Story up round the outside is now just ahead of Cater Bourbon, who started in last, moved to 4th after a couple of fences, but is now back in last place. Here's number 7 coming up. It's the open ditch at the top of the hill. Dancing City, Danny Mullins, big leap over it, and an error there from Ballyburn. He drops to the back of the field. Paul Townend has lost an iron, getting it back now, so the favourite in some bother, Ballyburn, at the back of the field, but now back on an even keel. So an error at fence number 7 drops him to last position, but that is only 6 or 7 lengths off the lead, and there's plenty of time to go. Downhill for the first time in this Brown Advisory Novices Chase, and it continues to be Dancing City from the red cap of Jack Kennedy on Better Days Ahead. The red and white colours for Sean O'Keefe. Lecky Watson is widest on the course as they come to another plain fence now and running towards the home straight. That is the next fence they take, number 8. The 2 Tigginstown runners, white cap for Danny Gilligan on Stellar Story. First colours Patrick Mullins, Cater Bourbon. They are either side of Dara O'Keefe on Gorgeous Tom in the green and yellow. And Ballyburn, after an error at 7, drops to the back of the field, but in touch with the others, and they move into the straight. Now this time in the straight they've got 2 to jump. They're numbers 9 and 10. Very closely grouped, and they've not gone very fast. Dancing City on the right, the yellow sleeves, very narrowly in front. To Better Days Ahead, it's a short run them down to fence number 10, coming towards it now. Lecky Watson, the red and white, nearest to us, is in third place. Very narrow fourth for Gorgeous Tom ahead of Cater Bourbon, and then comes Stellar Story, and Ballyburn continues to be the back marker in a closely grouped field. They're running away now on towards number 11 of the 19 fences. Dancing City and Better Days Ahead. Lecky Watson right up round the outside of those. There, Stellar Story with the white cap in 6th position was a little clumsy. Gorgeous Tom is in 4th place. Cater Bourbon is then in 5th. And then comes Stellar Story and still Ballyburn at the rear of the field. Away to the far side they go. Moving on now to number 12. Dancing City jumps it well. Went on by a length and a half there. A little slow at the back as Ballyburn. Coming to the water now. 13 it is this time. Second position to Better Days Ahead. Lecky Watson wide of those. Then Gorgeous Tom a length and a half behind. Runs in 4th place. Cater Bourbon is next. And then Stellar Story. And Ballyburn 2 lengths behind. Another open ditch coming up. This is number 14. The third of the ditches. The yellow sleeves of Dancing City. Better Days Ahead around the outside. And then Lecky Watson in red and white. 2 lengths behind these Gorgeous Tom, the maroon of Cater Bourbon, and then the white cap on the maroon jacket of Stellar Story, and still just at the rear 2 lengths behind those is Ballyburn. So up to the top of the hill. Now they've only got 4 more to jump. The final open ditch is coming up. Dancing City continues to lead. It's a narrow lead though. Better Days Ahead and Lecky Watson have been close to him for a long way now. Top of the hill they come, 4th from the finish. Behind those and down is Cader Bourbon, unseats the rider number 6. Cader Bourbon is out of the race, and slow leap as well from Ballyburn. Favourite is 4 or 5 lengths behind the other 5 that continue as they begin their journey towards home. It's Dancing City, Better Days Ahead, Lecky Watson together. Length behind them is Gorgeous Tom. With Gorgeous Tom is Stellar Story, and Ballyburn trying to get back into it as they run down towards the 3rd last fence. Moving on towards it now, it's still the yellow sleeves of Dancing City from Better Days Ahead, and Dancing City in error there as they run towards the home turn. Lecky Watson is still with them. Gorgeous Tom is ridden along behind these. Then Stellar Story, followed by Ballyburn. They've got 2 fences to jump in the home straight, and running towards the home turn now, Lecky Watson in the red and white goes on to Better Days Ahead in 2nd place. Gorgeous Tom has moved into 3rd position. Stellar Story behind this, then Ballyburn and Dancing City. Lecky Watson at the 2nd last. Good leap over it, landed by 2 lengths. 2 in 2nd position is Better Days Ahead. Then Stellar Story, final fence, Lecky Watson, up and over, landed by 3 lengths, and up the running now. Sean O'Keefe on Lecky Watson in the brown advisory, lead by 3 or 4 lengths. 2nd position, Stellar Story, and with this is Better Days Ahead, but it's Lecky Watson who wins. 2nd position, the judge to split the nose-banded Stellar Story and the red cap of Better Days Ahead. Behind those, Gorgeous Tom and Ballyburn.
Willie Mullins won the Brown Advisory for the 7th time, but that tells but half the story. Success for Sean O'Keefe on the unconsidered 20-to-1 shot, Lecky Watson. It's very tight for 2nd place. Last year's Albert Bartlett winner Stellar Story getting the better of last year's Modern Pipe winner Better Days Ahead for 2nd, and back in 4th it looks as though Gorgeous Tom has held Ballyburn, and that was a calamitous effort from Ballyburn, characterised by a dreadful mistake at the 7th. Very keen early. Paul Town then tried to get him back into the race. He was hampered when Cader Bourbon came to grief. 2nd circuit, and it was his stable companion Lecky Watson that ran out the winner here. As I said, a 7th victory in the Brown Advisory for Willie Mullins, and Sean O'Keefe, the man in the saddle, his 3rd Cheltenham Festival winner.
Brilliant for Sean O'Keefe, Nick. He's on the Willie Mullins team. He said last week that he'd go over and pick up what he could pick up. He's picked up Lecky Watson and this horse. He finished 4th in the Champion Bumper a couple of years ago. He finished 5th behind Stellar Story in the Albert Bartlett Hurdle here last year. He won well at Punchestown last time, and he's got lots of stamina.
Lots of stamina, lots of scope, a fair dollop of class as well. But class didn't matter if you were going to race like this, and Ballyburn was giving Paul Townend a horrible ride, and then this happened at fence 7.
Yeah, it was a race ending chance or a mistake, wasn't it, Nick? He was keen through the early part of the race. They didn't hit them at a great pace, and he's just a wee bit long, landed awkwardly, lost his hind legs. Paul Townend did really well to stay on board, and Paul Townend didn't panic. The champion jockey that he is allowed him get back into his race, gave him every chance to recover his chance, but he's just playing catch up after that.
Yeah, you struggle to get away with those mistakes, and it wasn't as if he was proving easy before that, because he had been quite keen through the race. There's the other point where he gets slightly hampered. At other fences his jumping wasn't foot perfect by any means, and he has just not fired this afternoon, and not given his running. And his stablemate Lecky Watson, who has not been that sure-footed over his fences in his first couple of starts, has definitely been more so up in distance this afternoon. Always relaxed well in a good position. Again, that isn't something that he's always done. And he's just given his running and shown improved form this time around from an ideal spot.
Take it here, Paul Townend trying to get Ballyburn back into it, but he's well on the back foot now. It's only that bit of class that's managed to get him as close as he has. Better Days Ahead has run a fine race. I can't really fashion too many excuses for him.
No, he's just run his race, Nick. He's moved up on the outside. Dunton City started to beat a retreat on the run down the hill. He made a bit of a mistake at the third last fence as well, and Better Days Ahead moved in onto the rail in front of him. But all the while, Sean O'Keefe, you could see him travelling. He's travelling in Lecky Watson. You know he's a horse who finds plenty. He's kicked on the run to the second last fence, jumped that really well, and Stellar Story, he stayed on himself and Gorgeous Tom. They came under right early, but Stellar Story found plenty, and he's done well to get the better of his stable companion for the runner-up spot.
Stellar Story is clearly one of those horses who's just going to keep coming alive for visits to the Cheltenham Festival, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think he's a really strong stayer as well, to be honest, Nick. I think that is something that he's got in abundance, is stamina. But Lecky Watson is a strong stayer as well, and that's the first go that he's had over a staying trip over fences, and it's helped him. And he's a horse that he's just maturing. He go back to his hurdling days, and he could quite often be a little bit too keen, and he's shown signs of that in his couple of starts over fences, but he probably has relaxed better over fences than sometimes over hurdles, and he definitely has done, and he's got into a really good rhythm this afternoon and definitely shown massive improvement from his previous couple of starts over fences.
It's a strong performance from Lecky Watson. He's a decisive winner.
He is. He's unbeaten over fences. This is his third run over fences. He won his first two. He beat Slade Steele back at Naas on his chasing day to win his beginner's chase. Then he went and won the grade 3 race last time, beat down Memory Lane when he made all the running. He was ridden a wee bit more patiently today by Sean O'Keefe, just in behind, wide enough but always light at his fence.